happens.
And why are you laughing so much? Okay, I'm gonna go put my phone on charge because this fucking country, man.
literally got ratioed by load shedding. 40 minutes before we start.
I'm laughing because we've been planning to do this for about
weeks.
a month and a half now.
Literally weeks.
And today is the first day we got like a good time to do it. And one of the guys have load shedding at 8.
Yeah. Off stream.
So now we're fine. We don't have anything for stage 3 tonight.
Can you guys hear me in stream? Is all the audio stuff clean? Yeah, is everything in stream working? Is stream okay?
You can't speak secrets. We're almost live.
Can you guys hear me on stream?
Why did you say we're live?
Yeah, well, no, because we were talking.
Bruh!
Nah, it's good content. No,
I'm out here eating cake and...
Yeah, it happens.
Anyway.
Yeah, Panda can't do anything about his camera. But it's okay. Yeah. We have Panda. Yeah, we have Panda. Can you hear me on stream? Can you hear me on stream and all of that?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh.
All right.
We're live, by the way.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah, while you were gone, we were
I was
live.
eating, while you were gone, I was eating cake and I was talking to my girlfriend about load shedding. And this man was on live scene.
Okay. That's great.
Nah, bro. Keep you on your toes. Keep you on your toes. But yeah, welcome everyone to episode 1 of Jou Ma Se Valorant, which is a podcast that me and Panda are doing, talking about ACGL, talk about South Africa, and talk about Valorant in general. And I would like to thank Hutchie, who's our very first guest. You guys might know Hutchie from his pro plague days, and yeah, now he's
my pro plague days. Are they over?
Pro plague days. No, I mean,
I hope they're not over.
No, we'll talk about you and your team, because you also entered the summer league as well. But yeah, we have a bunch of topics to get through today. Yeah, there's Panda, there's Hutchie, all of our hats in the bottom. Share if you guys want to hear, and hopefully we do more of this and finish before load shedding strikes. So, yeah, Hutchie, how are you doing, first of all, before we jump into everything?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Can't complain. Yeah, it's been great having servers. Yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I'm just busy sending out a tweet because we're live without me tweeting anything. Okay,
Hey,
tweet
bro,
has been sent.
I'm learning
No, it's fine. We're on a tight schedule here with load shedding, so
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I blame Escom.
So speedrunning to catch time.
Literally. But now I'm good. Yeah, it's been a good week and good weekend so far. Yeah, how are you guys?
I'm chilling for the most part. Like, I played too much Valorant. I played way too much Valorant.
I feel that.
I've seen pits of hell that you shouldn't see in solo queue, but yeah, I'm chilling.
Yeah, I'm notorious for solo queuing comp on stream. I don't know what it is. I just hop on, I just play full on solo queue, and yeah, and then I always like lose my aura, and I wonder why. It's just the way it is.
I do the same, and I complain about it later. I'm queuing, and then I tweet. I think I tweet the most about like how Valorant in silver gold is like the most painful experience, but I do that to myself. It's honestly my own fault.
100%. I mean, I'm on like my sort of evil villain era at the moment where I'm just insta-locking duelists. I just said like screw playing support, like I'm not doing it anymore. So I just insta-lock duelists because I was so sick of it. Like even like diamond lobbies, man, we get duelists that don't know what they're doing. And then there's me like filling Sage who can't help because now my Reyna insta-lock is going 4 for 20. It's rough. So yeah, I've been winning games. I actually finally ranked up to Ascendant since I've been insta-locking duelists, so it's working. Thank you. So it's flipping working. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, that's based. Yeah, while we're talking about the new maps, let's talk about the server as a whole. Firstly, we got low ping, which is insane. It's almost a different game entirely to what we're used to playing, and I think it shows, especially with how many people started hitting higher ranks and maintaining those ranks. What's been your experience, Panda? What's your experience in gold?
I'm the worst person to ask this question because I feel like I've D-ranked. Where everybody's climbing like 2 or 3 ranks. I used to be flat, and I'm in like what, silver, gold. I mean, I just hit gold. When did we hit gold? I think we hit gold last week sometime, and that's already like a month in on servers. So, I've been it's been the greatest of times. I've been doing some like gnarly things that I don't think we could have done before, which is amazing. But also, it feels like the caliber of players just rose to like a whole different level. The EU and Bahrain, like we always known that Bahrain, the closest server we had like apparently the best players in the world who can do everything. But EU, like the caliber of players or the skill level at lower ranks is it's a big variety. There's a lot of like bad players and good players. But here it's like everyone's good. Everyone's very good, or your duelist is shit.
Yeah.
So it's been weird. It's been good, it's been bad. But all in all, like the entire experience as a whole has just been like super positive.
No, I was talking to someone about how South African gold feels like EU diamond, and it's like it's actually a problem.
No, that's true, 100%. Like the people I'm playing against now in like Ascendant Diamond ranks are the same people I was playing against when I was in Malta 2, like on EU servers. It's crazy. Like South Africa has such amazing talented players, and everyone's like coming to show off at the moment. It's literally like, okay, like servers are out, CS players are in, these flipping Reunion Island kids are cracked out of their minds. They don't even speak because they don't understand English properly, but they understand how to click heads. Like it's insane, man. And like I feel that, like what Panda was saying, definitely like the lower ranks in South Africa are like have nothing on, like EU have nothing on us. Like EU is nothing. EU is a walk in the park compared to what's happening now. And at higher ranks, the thing is, since there's not many people that have reached like Ascendant yet, because servers are still fresh and people are like new and still getting into the game, there are not that many people up there. So most of the time it feels like you're playing like pugs. It feels like you're playing like 10 mans because you keep finding the same people over and over again, and it gets so like sweaty up there because like all my games feel like I'm playing VCT matches. Like there's like someone that wants to be an IGL and pro player, now they're IGLing in my rank games, and people are stratting and people are like, oh, this person's on the other team, I know their play styles, so like they're countering each other, and like I just want to have fun, man. Like when I was playing in like EU lobbies and stuff, I would just log in, I'll just play, I don't care, someone tunes me cock and move on to the next game. I don't know them, never see them again. Now in SA you play cock, and next time you come in someone's tuning you because they know your history. Bro, like it's a sweat fest, man. But at the end of the day, like it's all worth it when you like click your mouse and you get an instant headshot. Then it's like it's all worth it. I'll take the pain for the low ping.
What I've found, especially, I don't know if it's a thing that's in high elo as well, but there's a lot of initiators and a lot of flashes. All of a sudden, like I'm not used to. I've gotten so good at dodging flashes, but not the enemy's flashes, my own teammates' flashes, because I'm just not expecting them anymore.
Yeah.
Like the amount of skies I saw on day one was criminal. I think more skies than I've seen in like my entire year on Bahrain. But it's definitely really, really good to have these new servers. It has brought out a new side of South Africa in terms of like just being competitive, because there was a lot of arguing and, for lack of a better word, bitching before the servers came about like if people are going to be toxic or not. And then we got you, and then people just stopped talking because they were just getting one-tapped and they were just sitting and spectating their teams. So yeah, no, I'm really happy about it. And after today's game, we're going to talk about it as well later, but after today's pro games, definitely like a step in the right direction.
I didn't get to catch that match. What was the final score?
I think it was 2-0 or 2-1 to
2-1, yeah.
Yeah, no.
NF won first maps 13-6. Sox Up won second map 13-10, and then NF won last map 13-6 again, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good game then. That was a tight.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. Yeah.
But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about something slightly more weird and esoteric. in what makes a good story. Because we're going to be having a lot of people stepping up and a lot of people showing up to these events. And I'm going to use Demon 1 as an example, and Jing, where at the end of, or during the entire VCT, a lot of onus was put on, can Demon 1 talk the talk and walk the walk? And then also, can Jing be the man that finally stops him, or can Boaster be the one that stops him? And then finals happened, and Jing unfortunately lost, and Demon 1 fortunately won. And I'm trying to sit here and it's like, what story seems more liable in South Africa? Are we a bunch of good guys, or a bunch of people who talk smack and try to talk the talk? What do you guys think?
I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Yeah, bro, call him out right now. Let's go.
Carl, no. Carl, nah. Mango, you piece of shit. Mango's a nice guy as well. I think ego is one of our greatest and worst traits in the comp scene. It's always been something that has been there, and a lot of the teams that have had sort of that, I would say, Demon 1S, that villainy about them, have been able to sort of come up to the show and like perform as well as they said they would. So I like to think that we have a lot of very, imagine an isekai, but like with a lot of main characters. That's how it's just everybody likes to think that they're a main character, and a lot of them are actually main characters. Like they do like come up and actually like perform the way they're supposed to. And then in contrast, there's a lot of egotistical people who like to talk a lot of smack post game that we'll mention as a whole. But like there's a lot of good guys as well. I do think though that they're not as loud as they should be. Like there's a lot of guys that are very humble and very like this thing, and have like a whole bunch of people that are rooting for them, that are like, we're rooting for this guy's, and then there's a lot of blank canvases. Like I'm not sure if you know Kang, your teammate Kang. For the longest time, Kang was just a race. That every time you'd say the name Kang, it was just the picture of Raze, unless you knew him or played with him. And for the longest time, the community, that's all we saw. It's just like, if there's a King, you die to a Raze.
And the shorty.
And a shorty in bind lamps.
Yeah.
That was King. And then I met him like in real life, and like once you meet him in real life, like you actually start to see like the story of who he is, and he's not like the character that he portrays within the game. So there's a lot of blank canvases that people don't see all the time, because like just people are not loud as you'd expect them to be, and there are a lot of louder characters within the entire community as a whole.
So when it comes to like hero or villain, I feel like it's more, I feel like villain does really well overseas. I don't think South Africa is ready for like a villain to really, like, if anyone went to a tournament on stage and said the things Demon 1 said at VCT Champs on stage, like here, he'd be shunned like 100%. Like even if he's memeing, he's just talking trash. Like imagine you're at Rage, guy grabs the mic, boom, Telkom main stage, 1 million rand tournament from CSGO, and he starts like saying, I'm the flipping best, all you haters, I saw you. Like, dude, whoa, everyone would look at him and be like, get this guy off the stage. South Africa is not ready for a proper villain. So what we get now in most scenes, I'll speak mostly for the Valorant scene, is we get oaks that talk trash and be the villain behind scenes, like, or talk trash in my rank games. Like, the amount of people I've heard talk smack behind the scenes that I never even knew about, and I hear about it and I'm like, what the hell? Like, okay, this person is like that. You play a right game, you have a bad game, you're going against someone, you're like, GG, you're being all nice about it. Tomorrow you hear this person was talking shit and like, oh my goodness, Hutchie's getting smacked on by me. Like, oh, and I'm like, dude, I thought you were cool. Like, there's so many of those villains behind the scene. And then they come to tournaments and those same villains don't place. Like in the top teams between like, let's say Soxup and ATK, the way we've been playing for like years, even like WRG days, there was no one really like shit talking each other in broad daylight, at least, like from those teams. There was so much drama between, let's say, like teams like CSO, whatever. Teams are getting banned from like tournaments by Middle State. And those were the villains, like CSO and them. I think they came in and they tried to be like the villains. And like I said, it didn't really work out for them. Lots of people like hated them, pushed them out, or tried to push them out. Now the orgs are no longer together. Bunch of stuff with like org ownership villains, and there was a full-on thing happening. And there was just no place for it, I feel like, in Val ZA. So personally, I think in ZA, people prefer to like look at a hero. You do get people that are obviously like egotistical. They think they're the best in the game, whatever it may be. But I mean, that's fine. I mean, I feel like it just boosts your confidence, makes you a better player. If you're egotistical, you have to have confidence in yourself. Otherwise, like, who's going to have confidence in you if you don't have confidence in yourself, at the end of the day? So I don't mind people thinking, oh, I'm the flippin' best. I'll tell people I'm the flippin' best. That's fine. As soon as it comes into like the proper like villainy, like trying to tear other people down, like I don't think there's a place like in ZA for that, or at least just yet, because people don't understand it.
Yeah, I think especially after watching today's game, there was a thought that I had where it's like if you're a villain or you think you're the best, someone's gonna come and knife you. Just in South African tournaments, someone's gonna come and stab you, and then suddenly all that goes down the drain. And especially because we're such a small server, you can't really go around running your mouth because everyone's going to be there. And suddenly you get people throwing on your team and people like, oh, not this guy. When in reality, you just want to make as many connections as possible. And I think everyone has this sort of dream of potentially playing on like the European stages. And the way we're going to do that is by building each other up. So yeah, I do agree that like heroes will resonate more. There's already a bunch of heroes in the scene. Like if anyone is in the scene and hears the name Mango, for example, everyone like regards him as like a really good guy, etc., etc. I can't really think of someone in the scene who's everyone's like, oh, not that dude.
I can.
Yeah,
I can.
No, I can't.
Yeah. You absolutely meet me on the server, Mango.
Okay, well, there's another one. Panda's that guy.
There's the challenge.
Everyone's like, Mango's an angel. Panda's like, no, he's not.
I have receipts. I see many types in the DMs.
I have one.
See, that's the thing. Publicly, there isn't really a villain, but behind closed doors, like when we're doing like trials for teams, I have heard people say like, no, I don't want to play with that person. Like, don't put me in a team with that person. So publicly, people aren't going to say like anything, but behind closed doors, like the pro scene, like we do have people that I know of that like no one wants to touch with a 10-foot pole. Like you might be amazing, some teams will pick you up, but like let's say the top 2 teams will just be like, no, like he's good, but personality wise, like no, it's not happening. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we all need those roles in the scene.
Yeah,
real
for
quick
sure.
side tangent, especially on the topic of like pro players and like when you're having trials and like you're putting on these so excuse me, like and this is something that I saw within one of my friends' games where there was an ex-pro or a pro in that game, and they had like just probably the worst qualities that I had seen personally of a person. When you're putting like all these teams together, is aim or is like gameplay like one of the like really top factors that like showers everything else beyond, or is like everything on a sort of like equal pedestal? It's like he has to be good, she has to have a decent personality, they have to meet XYZ, like all of these boxes within, or it's just a case of like if he's good, we can look away from at least 2 of these boxes.
So I think it depends also on the role. If you have someone that's like really good but has a shit personality, you could get away with it if you're like a duelist person. Because all you have to do is just go in and get kills. Like, okay, this person's an asshole, but if he goes in and gets kills, he does his job. Imagine having someone who's an asshole on like Sky or something. You're asking him to flash for you or whatever. You don't like the dude. He does a bad flash, and all of a sudden you're super tilted because this asshole just like flashed you, for example. If you have someone nice who does a Sky flash, you're like, nah, it's all good, dude. Like, don't worry about it. You fucked up a flash. It happens. Or server fucks up a server dot, and you're like, oh, it's all good. You messed up a server dot. Like, it's chilled if someone's nice. Now imagine someone like does a horrible smoke and you don't like the dude already, you're gonna like be super tilted, if you know what I mean. And then in ZA, there's also like friend groups. I know like I've attended trials where people are like second pick into a team, but they're not good players. And it's because I'd say the captain is like friends with them. So they don't want to like not pick their friend. So it is also very cliquey in the scene. Because they aren't like, let's say, too many top teams at the moment. So let's say, I'll give an example. I'm just going to say 80k because I feel like if I give it another org, people are going to be like, oh, whatever. He's picking on them. So let's just say 80k, for example. If I'm captain and I don't pick Cavs, for example, if Cavs is the last person and I picked other people instead of Cavs, how does that make me look as a teammate? You know what I mean? So it's very clicky. Let's say first pick would be Cavs, for example, because he's my teammate, he's my boy. So that's what I mean. It's like also very clicky. But yeah, gameplay is definitely like super important. If you're a nice person, like let's say Carl is like one of the nicest people ever, like having him on your team. Mandalorian's also like super nice. So you would also go for like personality. It's very rare that like a villain gets picked up if they're like not a duelist or something. You know, you could have like someone super cracked as KO, but like if he's like super rude, I wouldn't want to pick him. I'd rather just lose the pugs and he pops up. I don't care. It's fine. As long as he's not on my team, I don't have to deal with him.
Okay, no, I get that. I get that fully.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you actually mentioned your team, so I think let's just jump straight into ACGL while we have power. Firstly, let's talk players to watch. Yeah, let's talk about like who you guys think going into this next season is like really, really important. I have an entire list of people that I'm looking out for. I have an entire list of people that I'm looking out for. A bunch of OG guys, a bunch of the up and coming guys, a bunch of people I've seen in solo queue. But I'm going to list like three people that I think, in my opinion, have a lot of potential in the scene and I think are really, really good people and really good players that deserve to get a shot. Firstly, from Blind Peakers, which is Callum's team, Mr. Caesar himself, Sterling. Blind Peaker Sterling, he's a guy who came from Apex and semi-pro Overwatch as well. And just watching his streams, he's only in silver now, but when he hits shots, I look at it, I'm like, give this man, like have someone whisper in his ear, someone who can sort of like groom him into like a better player, and this man is arguably one of the best, if not one of the best aimers.
You should do like the Siamese challenge. Like I'll play keyboard and he plays mouse.
Yeah,
so I'll control his like movement and utility, and then he just aims.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Sterling is insane. This is just from like watching streams and stuff. From Reunion, the Namek Toys Henry. Everyone's seen him around on the server, and Henry is goated. When I say Henry is insane, I mean he will walk into B sites on Breeze, throw one flash, and somehow kill 4 people. And I'm like, how do you manage that? I walk across one of his games and he's winning consistently 3v1s, 2v2s. Yeah, Henry's a person to watch out for. And let's pick one more. I was gonna say like the usual guy, the usual suspects: Cloaks, King, Maxo, Sky. But another one that stands out, I'm gonna say Tasuk, just because Tsuki's he needs a shout out.
Don't give him a platform. Don't give him a platform.
Yeah, never mind. No, don't look at that guy. Any OG games, don't look at it. And then Papping, Pappin from Thomas More College. He was one of the guys who won or played in the high school finals. And he was the captain for that team. But the way he rallied that team, from an IGL perspective, because we never really look at IGLs, but looking at a person that young, have protocols as decent and as good as Pappin's teams was, gives me hope for high school Valorant firstly, and sort of I think raises the bar, because if a high school kid is doing this, then our quote unquote pro IGLs have to be like on the board, if that makes sense. Yeah, those are my 3. I don't know if you guys have any people that stands out to you.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Chambi when you're talking about like Callum's team. Chambi's also playing Rudo.
Yeah, there were so many people there's so many people on this list that I'm like, I could name them, but like I want to give Sterling a shot, because Sterling has been on Twitter and been very vocal about he wants to fully commit to it, and just from watching his streams from before we got the servers up until we've got the servers. How he's grown as a player has really, really impressed me. Obviously, when he gets better opponents, as he gets higher in the ranks or he gets into more intense scrimmages and stuff, we're going to see like where his weaknesses lie. But yeah, Sterling is there, Chambi as well from Blind Peakers. Just the entire Blind Peaker side. It's sort of been built. Yeah, the entire team has just been built. I was talking to Callum about it, but the entire team has been built around having this really veteran player in Callum, and then all of these new guys underneath him, so then he can sort of push them into a direction that makes sense. And they couldn't be in better hands. Callum is such a solid dude and really intelligent about the game. Yeah, so those are my guys. Who do you think should stand out? Who stands out to you rather?
With me, it's more of a thing of instead of just individuals standing out, it's so I like roster shuffles. I come from an age of Dota 2 where after every major tournament, which was once a year, end of the year, there'd be this thing called roster mania where it's this guessing game of who goes where, what's gonna happen, are they gonna perform as good as they did. So when I go through, there's 8 groups, by the way, on the ACGL tournament.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
it's a lot of teams, and so when you go through each one, it's like filtering through. It's like looking for these names, and because like we've been in the scene for like a good 2.5-ish years, or the scene has existed for like a good 2.5-ish years now, and then we've been in it for like a year or so, and here are some shade. So there's these names that pop up everywhere, with different like players. Like if you look at OG, for example, right? Rigga, the first game we casted was OG FE. OG FE is no more. There's now 2 OG teams, OG Rise and OG what was
something.
yeah, something like that there. And so the first core team of OG, Demonics, Noob Muncher, etc., etc. It's not the same core 5 that were there. It's like a couple of different players here, but they're there. And then this OG, you have Tsuki, who before this was in EA, Eagle Eye Academy.
Yeah.
Before that, he was in PWD. You have Mel, who is subbing in for them. She was in ATK FE. Before that, she was in oh god, I'm gonna forget this team.
Socks Up FE.
Thank you, Socks Up FE. So like there's all these Cure is still in OG. Cure is still there. So like it's looking at all these names, that like Chambi, example, Apex Demon. Is he going to perform as well as he did in Apex? Because Apex, he was in probably one of the best players in the country. It's that sort of idea of all of these combinations, whether they work, whether they won't work. Morgs is back in Socks Up. Morgs, last time I saw him was, what was the last core Socks Up team? It was Cynics, Mango, Rob, Two Face, Carl. That was the last core team that I saw. I hadn't seen Morgs in God knows how long. So like I'm just excited to
What
see
team was Morgs in before?
I think he was subbing for Socks Up once or
No,
twice.
before that, he played for another team.
I wasn't.
Okay, he was there before Socks Up. I can't remember.
It must have been a long time ago. Like,
yeah,
it always excites me.
Was he in CSO?
No,
Might have been. No, I can't remember.
CSO was Who, Jay,
Soman. I can't remember.
I can't remember the other two, but they were also they were like question words.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that team
Punishes Morgs.
Punishes, yeah.
Or Jay said Punishes.
Could have been. What, you were in Punishes? How do you not know this?
That was ages ago. I mean, we were in Punishes when like Gogaby was like playing. Like, please, that's how you know this like ages ago.
True. Gogaby, when are you coming back to the scene?
He's playing. He's actually subbing for us. Yeah, he's in my team.
Oh yeah, is he still okay? Cool. But yeah, it's that idea of like the teams, the shuffles, the roster, the things. It's like what's gonna. I am gonna say I'm really hoping Blind Peakers like does a lot, just because it's like a fresh non-Valorant. Everyone votes for an underdog, and a fresh non-Valorant team, even as good as their aim is still somewhat of an underdog to like everybody else.
Yeah.
I love that team. I just don't know if like they'll really show much this tournament, just because I feel like it's early stages. Like I definitely think give them, let's say, the second tournament, like the next one after this, then I would really look out for them. For now, I still feel like they're getting into the feel of like what Valorant competing is like, because like competing in Apex is like super different from like Valorant, if you know what I mean. So like I watched them on stream, and like still there are some concepts that they could brush up on, which I feel like is going to punish them in a tournament like this. But once that happens and they get punished, I want to see how they learn from it and then take it into the next tournament. So I feel like they will unfortunately fall short as my prediction for this tournament. But then next tournament, I feel like they're going to come guns blazing. Or if they're practicing like super hard, because this tournament is running for like 5 weeks, then who knows? Maybe they could still shine this tournament. But yeah, we have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely like keep an eye on blind peekers, everyone who's watching, because I expect them to be capable of big things, for sure. With Callum at the head and a lot of the raw talent that they have underneath. At the end of, I don't know if you guys seen the video. Everyone's probably seen the video about how it's an FPS game and you get shot in the face and you die. Yeah,
you always reference the stupid video.
Bro, I referenced the video because it makes sense. I feel like we always overthink the game, but more often than not, if you go to a player who's higher ranked than you, the advice he's going to give you is just win your 50s. Not get better at throwing util. If you lose 70% of your fights, you're going to be stuck in gold. Like, that's the unfortunate truth. And then as you get into the
But that's what I mean, because like as you in a tournament like this, in a tournament setting, like as you make it out of groups and you go into playoffs, when you verse teams that have proper structure and stack utility together, no matter how good at aiming you are, it's going to be hard for anyone. So that's what I'm saying. Like they might get away with it now, you know, walking in, out aiming your opponent, everything is all good. But as soon as they go against a team, let's say like Socks Up, where like they throw tons of utility onto sites, how do they actually like handle that? That takes a while to like adapt to be like, oh shit, okay, what positions shouldn't I play? Where like adapt to when should you push, when should you not push, you know, turning flashes as well takes some time. You just all these things like different sound cues, it takes a while to really like learn. So I feel like they are going to do really well against the weaker teams. I just think it's going to be very hard to expect them to like take out some of the top teams for their first tournament. So we'll see. My prediction is, yeah, like I said, second tournament, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a one to watch.
Yeah, while we're on the topic of top teams, let's talk about your team. I think it's Checker. Yeah, Checker.
Yeah. It's literally all it's all our names combined. That's the name. So C for Cavs, H for Hutchie, and then like yeah, C for Carl again. Yeah, yeah, just like that. That's what Cavs named it. Yeah, Checker.
Your team is hella stacked. Like when I saw that on the roster, because I was looking through when I was doing research for this, and I'm like, oh, let me find players that I really like and like recognize. And I got to check it, and I'm like, oh, Hutchie was a free agent for a while. Let's see if he found a team. And then I saw Cavs, Hutchie, and Carl. I'm like, okay, understandable. That's like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's so for those who don't know, Checker is Cavs, Carl, Hutchie, Rex, Gogaby, and Canny. If you don't know those names, watch a Checkers game because you will learn those names very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yes. Insane.
You just saw it? What are your thoughts, Panda?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, our first game, so we've only played one game so far, like as a team, and it was against No Fear, who literally just played the show match against Socks Up. We did really well against them. We were losing 9-3. It took us so long to like get into it. Like the comms were horrible. The teamwork, the coordination was horrible. Like Kaz will throw a flash and then the dart will come once the flash is done. And like there was no coordination, which is expected. I mean, we haven't scrimmed, we haven't even played ranked as a 5, so we haven't done anything together. And now we go into our first match against, I think, the best team in Reunion Island that just beat Socks Up in a show match. So yeah, we were losing 9-3. We pulled our shit together. We took them to overtime. We won map 1. Map 2, we got absolutely rolled. As soon as we played Lotus, where there's like 3 sites in the map, it's so hard for a non-coordinated team to play a map with there's 3 sites. So we got destroyed on that map. And then the next map, we took them to OT again. And unfortunately, we lost in OT. It's like 14-12. So all in all, like, yes, we made some stupid mistakes. We were all like upset at the end of the game because we felt like we could have won that if, we had done some things a bit better. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, like, I'm super happy. We versed a super hard team as our first match, and we did really well. So yeah, we just took it as learnings. It's still groups at the end of the day. I still expect us to qualify out of groups and go to the playoffs. And I'm kind of glad a hard game came, because I feel like if we had an easy bracket, you wouldn't have sort of noticed your mistakes until you get into playoffs, where you really need to make sure you have no mistakes at all. And then potentially you find it out too late in the tournament and then you get knocked out, let's say. So I'm glad it kind of happened like this early on, so we can sort of like, we've seen how the team reacts under pressure. So as soon as we receive pressure again, we've already been through it as a team. And as a new team, like, you sort of need to go through those phases. Like, imagine if we had an easier group like some teams have, we just roll everyone. And then you get into playoffs and you verse your first team. And now you see the pressure for the first time and you're already in a tournament match where you can't lose. It might get a little bit tricky. So yeah, it was super hard. But yeah, we have some super talented players. The team is literally put together on the day signups were closing. Like, I messaged Carl on like the Sunday night and I'm like, Carl, you're a free agent? He's like, yeah, I'm not in the tournament, because I looked and I saw Socks Up signed up without Carl, and I was like, oh, Carl, I don't see him in any teams. What's up? I think we played a rank game together, which is why I remembered his name. So yeah, Carl said yes. Cav spoke to Greasy Socks. He said yes. And then, yeah, our last pickup was Bassie, last minute, who's Rex. So going back to players to look out for, Rex, since services have come out, this dude has been destroying in ranked games. Like, I noticed him straight away. Like, I went against him because he played for the ATK, I think it was ATK Academy team, or was it the Punishers Academy team? But yeah, he was an Academy team player. I can't think of which team it was. And I saw him in my ranked games, and this dude's like out-fragging everyone, like all these pro players and everything. And this guy came from Academy team, and now he's literally shitting on people. I've played with him in like 10s lobbies, and you want this dude on your team. So Rex, he's playing amazingly well. He can also fill like multiple roles, which is awesome. It's good to have on a team. So yeah, we picked him up. Love the dude. And then Greasy Stocks as well. Like, super amazing dude to play with, super humble as well, but he's also like aggressive as he needs to be, like, as a duelist. Comes from CSGO, so this dude's shots are flipping clean. His reaction time is awesome. This dude does not shoot like a 30-year-old. I don't know how the fuck he's like 30. This dude's reaction time is insane. I'm 26 and like my reaction time isn't even that good. But yeah, he's also a good one that you guys need to. 29. Sorry, you said he's 29, not 30. Yeah. He's in chat. Yeah. Sakani is a flippin' beast. Also that CSGO experience. Dude's played at like major tournaments. So like no pressure gets to him at all. Like, people are talking shit before the game. He could see it on stream. He's just like, what is what it is. Like, nothing gets to him. And then obviously, like, you guys know Kaz, you guys know Carl, so I don't really need to speak about them. But yeah, that is the team. So yeah, give us some time, and yeah, I think we could at least place top 3 in this tournament.
Yeah, I was going to talk about meta, but like, it's really hard to define it at the moment, because like you said, a lot of teams are sort of thrown together and they really haven't had as much tournament experience. So there's a lot of theoretical stuff that's in the air. So like, if you're playing a set, you have to have an Omen KO, stuff like that. People know the basics, but I haven't really seen people. It might be due to lack of like a dedicated analyst, but I haven't really seen people sort of poke and prod and figure out ways to counter strats. I would love to see some more like personalized. We all have it in ranked games where it's like, hey, this chamber ulted specifically just to kill me, and he doesn't get any kills the rest of the game. I would love to see more of that, like personalized counter stratting, especially because you guys, like you said, are a very tight knit group in higher elos, so you do understand how everyone plays. It'll be very interesting to see how people are going to counter strat, and whether we start seeing some more off meta stuff away from like the VCT understanding of how to play the game, and how South Africa develops their own Valorant language.
See, right now the problem is, so we do all understand what is meta. Like we all watch the pros play and we understand why they pick the agents that they should, how they use those agents to dominate the map. The issue is right now, because there's been so much reshuffling between teams, you sort of have to go back to the drawing board and say, like, I'm not going to go in and say, okay, guys, this is the winning team's comp from VCT. We're going to adapt the exact same comp. Trying to explain to everyone how to use the utility together using those agents is going to be a nightmare. We would rather just go in and say, okay, Cavs, who are you good at? You good at Reyna? I'd bet play Reyna. You know what I mean? Because then everyone plays whatever they're comfortable with. You don't have to tell people how to stack utility, and you sort of play it like a rank game, just with an IGL and structured pushes, and that's about it. So there is minimal like discussions around like agent select. It's like, okay, Carl, what are you good at? You're good at Sova, you're good at KO. Okay, for this map we need a Sova. Calls the Sova. It's so we're trying different things. I mean, I played Killjoy. I've never played Killjoy in my comp history. I played Killjoy for my team on Bind. Never in my life have I ever played Killjoy on Bind. I played it against Nofia and I did really well. Next game, I'm playing Killjoy again. Next game, I played Controller because Bassi wanted to try play Cypher on the map, for example. So I played Astra. I haven't played Astra in years. So it's kind of like we're all just like figuring things out, figuring what suits the team best and what agents suit like each other best. Carl might, let's say, be the best Sova on Soxup, for example, but then in our team maybe he'll be the best guy, for example, because we can all play different initiators, different smoke agents. It's just about finding what works. So because we don't have much time, I mean, the ACGL through the tournament out the gate, we just got servers, ACGL tournament, so it's kind of hard like to structure things in a team just yet so early, but definitely like maybe not this tourney, or you probably will see it in the finals, because I know like we did like some small discussions of, let's say, what Soxup were playing before we went into a grand finals against them, and we did do a little bit of like counter stranding with agent select or whatever. It's nothing serious, because back then competitive was never taken that serious before servers, but I definitely think like the finals game of this tournament, or semifinals, quarterfinals, those are going to be pretty heated, and you will start to see like those counter-stranding comps. But right now, I mean, no fear we're running like flipping Yoru against us. They played triple duelist against us. Like, they're not going to run triple duelist in grand finals, for example. So everyone's just like messing around at the moment, just playing whatever they're comfortable with, because we know we can win the game. Don't need to like put much thought into it. As soon as you get like I said, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, it's going to be those like triple, double initiator, maybe even triple initiator, single sentinel, whatever it may be, one duelist comps. It's not going to be those double duelist comps like Sentinels used to play or anything like that. It's going to be like proper structure.
Yeah,
Double duelist still works.
Double
Just putting
duelist.
it out there.
This is the man. This is coming from the man who
I
picked
hate it.
Yoru
I
in
hate
my
it.
bind game specifically because he saw
No,
Paper X play it once.
But it
We're
worked.
talking
Did
to
it not?
Mr. Tech himself.
It didn't work. It did not work though.
No, it didn't. We lost. I remember this. Because every single time I see a Yoru, I'm like, I'm dodging. I can't
Sorry,
play
I was
this
thinking
game.
about Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like lots of things can work, like double duelist could work. It all depends on the team. For example, like a team like Soxup, I don't think double duelist would work because they're very like techie with their strats. Like you want a team like that to, let's say, run 2 initiators instead, because like I said, they're very like techie and stratty, whatever it may be. But a team like No Fear, they could run double duelist because they have like some young gunners who are flipping talented on the duelist. So why not run double duelist if you have 2 talented duelists? So it just depends on the team.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say as well, like it also counts on like the play style, and especially with like us as a region, like I'm pretty sure even with any game, every region has like their own like hovering play style or umbrella play style that they all like conform to and stuff like that there, and it works within their regions because they all play somewhat the same of sorts, and us being like we're not a fresh region, but we're freshly initiated into what Valorant is supposed to be like. And so there's a lot of this like finding our footprint within Valorant and within what our playstyle as a region is supposed to be. And so it's still it's still very early days in terms of like where we stand as a whole, let alone how we're going to counter each other at high level. It's very early days.
Yeah, it is like it's very early. It's literally been, I think we're finishing week 1, as of the game that was played this morning. So it is still early. We'll see how like teams develop as we go into the tournament. I think there's a question for you in chat, Hutchie. Yeah, from
Wasn't for
Robbie.
me. It's like
Well,
more in general.
Well, you're the guest. I'll sit there and I'll pop
Okay.
in additional input. But
Yeah.
yeah. How does a team approach creating strats? Yeah, his team's a very new team coming from.
Oh yeah, I
CS.
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so all they can do is aim. Personally, what is there's an adage where it's like there's nothing new, like there's no such thing as a fresh idea, and the best thing you can do is just copy something and see if it works, in my opinion. Because the pros are doing things for a reason, and if you can figure out a reason why, you can sort of formulate your own ideas from that. But that's just my understanding of how to create strats.
Yeah. So the basic way of creating strats, where if you're not looking at it very high level, because when it gets high level, it goes into a lot of like studying and like VOD reviewing and all that. But I'll start sort of top down, I guess. So top down, the way I like creating strats is pretty much just VOD reviewing pro games, tier 2, tier 1, whatever match I can get my hands on, pretty much just watching site executes if I'm looking for a strat for site executes. So firstly, I'll look at compositions. I'll think to myself, okay, why did this team choose this composition? I'll look for any relatability between like their comp and like other teams' comp. If I start to see a pattern like, okay, the highest pick agent from VCT in this tournament was, let's say, Killjoy on this map, 99% pick rate. Why would I not want to run Killjoy? Because they know something that I don't. If 99% of the pros are running Killjoy, it makes no sense why I shouldn't. Who am I to say Killjoy is not good on the map? You know? So then I'll say, okay, cool, Killjoy must be a must pick. Then I'll look at, okay, how do they use Killjoy? Okay, this is their setups. They like to rotate between this site and this site. They never touch, let's say, B site on Lotus, whatever reason. Okay, they put their mollies like this, they do this, whatever it may be. You can do that for pretty much every agent. I mean, Duelist is sort of like self-explanatory, but you can kind of see like, okay, why do people pick Jet instead of Raze on this map? Or why do people pick Raze instead of Jet? Oh, they're using the nade for certain choke points because certain maps have like smaller funnels onto sites. So Raze grenade, they will be very strong. That's why pros are using nades, for example. Then you look at other maps, okay, Sky, where's Sky being used? And then once you have sort of that into like a composition, a general like overlook of like what agents perform based on what map, then you can start to see like how do they channel their abilities to like work together. So okay, everyone has side executes like at the pro level. They might start them, you might have people like lurking, they might do like a sort of default approach where everyone's like scattered and they're waiting to like get info. You might get an initiator getting info on A side, another initiator they're getting info on B side. Once they have that info, what do they do with it? Then you start to watch the minimap. You start to see, okay, they're rotating towards B. Why did they rotate towards B? That initiator must have got some info to tell them that A is a bit, scary. Let's walk towards B. So you start to see like how they do it. They're not making any noise. Someone's watching for flank. Why are they watching for flank? Whatever it may be. Then they stop outside of, let's say we're looking at Bind. Let's say they stop outside of hookah. How do they enter hookah? How do they clear their corners? Okay, they're using a Sky Dog. Why did Sky not go B long, for example? Oh, they wanted to use a silver dart B long because it clears out more of B long with a dart, whereas a dart in hookah can't clear like certain cubbies. That's why I use a dog. So you start to like see those relations and start to be like, okay, cool. So Sova is best here. Sky is best here. How do you clear this corner? Okay, this is how they clear it. And then you sort of like piece that together. So you can go into your own rank games and say, okay, if I have a Sky in my team, I'm going to tell Sky to go hookah. Why would I won't tell Sky to go long because the pros didn't use it. Something must be wrong. You'll start to like piece those things together and then you do that. So that's how like high level, even like low level, you can get like a basic understanding from watching the pro gameplay. More high level is more of like, okay, everyone goes, they're doing a Killjoy lineup. Let's say we're doing Ascent and you're pushing onto, I think it's like A side, right? You're pushing onto A side on Ascent. You have a Killjoy, she throws a molly up in the sky. Look where that molly landed. Okay, the molly lands tree. Why did it land tree? Oh, he's going to pop the molly. So when Jet dashes onto site, they can't walk through door now because it's smoked and there's a molly, so they can't execute. The same molly, she throws one molly for door. She throws another molly for heaven, or she throws it for Jen, or she throws it for dice, whatever it may be. So now she pops two mollies, dash comes in, KO molly comes in. So let's say KO molly goes Jen. Killjoy Molly goes door and heaven. Now those are cleared. So when you're a jet entering site, you have a knife from KO now landing dice as well. Spots if there's anyone playing dice. You know there's no one gen. You know there's no one door. You know there's no one heaven because all the mollies are blocking those entries. So all you have to do as a jet is focus on dice. And then at the same time, you have a servo who darts back dice. So the person playing dice will get scared. So the only place a person could be is either hiding on the right by the bricks or they're hiding under heaven. So as a jet, you know everything is cleared out by your team based on the utility that they've used. So all you have to focus on is the isolated fight between two different angles. Imagine being a jet, you dash in, someone runs out of tree, someone's hiding gen, someone's heaven, someone's under heaven. There's so many places to look. You're going to get destroyed. So that's why like top level, people choose the comps that they pick. Killjoy Molly, KO, Silver Dart, that's why they're so widely picked on Ascent, because you could literally clear out so much space with just the utility.
I'm convinced just of that conversation alone that the only reason I haven't ranked up is because my teams are all shit.
Yeah, everyone's bad. Yeah, everyone's bad.
As a jet, especially as a neon, on I still have 100%. Thank God, I have 100% neon on Breeze. But as a duelist, the only reason I'm losing my games is because my team is not clearing proper shit.
KJ, why didn't you throw the molly that lands backside? Cringe.
Landed.
I mean, that's the thing. Like at the basic level of ranked at the moment is, oh, Killjoy puts a turret to watch flank. Then Killjoy does lineups once you plant. Like, okay, cool. Those lineups are all fancy and all to play for lineups. But what about helping your mollies to, stop pushes?
Yeah.
Like at most, people throw the molly. Let's say there's a CT smoke. You throw it into the CT smoke, you pop it, and then you push in. So now people can't run in. Okay, that's great. But on Ascent, are you gonna stand in the passage in the open and throw a molly for heaven? No, just learn a lineup. It's like that simple. There's Silver Dart lineups. Why don't you have molly lineups? Why don't you use Killjoy as a sentinel to do something else?
Oh man, I'm
literally scrolling through my DMs with Hutchie before we get here, and he said, and I quote, "I don't know what I'm going to talk about." And I quote.
I wanted to add as well to that there, especially to the understanding of the why. Since like you had like a CS background, like at very like basic level, even before basic level, CS:GO and Valorant aren't that much different. They have the same utility types. It's just now based on characters that you pick. You still have a smoke, block certain angles so that you can enter a site. You still have mollies. It's just variations.
Exactly. You still have flashes. Yeah.
You still have flashes. So it's the same utility. The only difference now is that you have to pick a team composition based on that utility. And that's just the basic number one fundamental of Valorant as a whole. It's like you have to have a smoke if you want to clear specific. If you want to lock down specific angles, you have to have a flash to get into specific places. Have to have a molly to clear specific places, etc., etc., etc.
All this is making me think is that we're gonna have a lot of KOs all of a sudden. And it's just a matter of time until every single game is just KO chamber. Just because it's simple as the game, but I'm okay with that. I actually don't mind.
I mean, yes or no. There are maps where like KO is very like underpowered. For example, let's say like Lotus, because there's so many like walls where you can take cover. If a KO flash comes in, all you have to do is just like duck behind the wall, and that's it. Whereas let's say like Haven, if someone like throws C long, a flash that goes straight up in the air, dude, because it's such an open area, you're getting flashed. So that's why people like even Ascent. That's why KO is so widely picked on Ascent, because it's such an open area map. If you throw one flash in the air, it could blind like way more people than it could on like other maps, for example.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. I think we're gonna give it a while, and I think we're gonna see a lot more, because we have a lot of initiator players in South Africa. So I think once they start realizing that the game is very symmetrical to CS:GO in the way that plays can be formed, that's when we're gonna start seeing some like fake flashes and then like late peaks off of it. Because if I've learned anything from this server, is everyone loves to swing. And it's gonna take a while until teams start figuring out that like subliminally you can condition someone to swing, and then from that swing, that's when like all the util gets dumped and you get easy kills and change a 5v5 into like a 3v5 almost immediately. But
Yeah.
while we're talking about bodies dropping and Ascent as well,
Bodies dropping.
let's talk. Let's talk.
What is the
about,
segue? The segue into like the next topic is crazy.
bro, I'm smooth with it. Let's talk about Soxa versus No Fear today.
Oh, we're talking about Socks Up's bodies dropping. Damn,
Yeah.
that was pretty rough.
No. I was thinking of A main. I was thinking of A main.
Oh my God.
On Haven, on Ascent rather. And this was called a show match. But the idea of having a match of the week every single week excites me to no end. Especially when we have like teams like
Oh, is that
Checkers.
what they're doing? One show match a week.
I think this is just a show match, but I would love to have like a match of a week type thing. I think I can talk to the Val guys, but having these matches of the week, like a Saturday afternoon, where the entire community just pulls up, because I think that pulled 100 viewers or something, which is insane. And it's sort of like everyone's small dream of being like, hey, I'm playing and everyone's watching me. And when I do a good play, then everyone hypes it up, and eventually they'll go to Twitter and they'll talk about it, and you sort of get that ego boost, and you sort of form like minor celebritydom. But it was just a show match, and it was arguably match of the week. Well, it is the match of the week. It's the only real one we saw. And my main takeaway from this Reunion Island is really fucking good. It's actually insane how good these guys are, and it comes to like them being very tight knit as a group. Because for those who don't know, No Fear is, I think, has been together for the past. Yeah, they're all brothers, and they've been together for the past 3 years, I think.
They've been together 3 years in Valorant and all their life.
Yeah.
Like, and all their life. They're so good. Like a lot of the protocols they had, just for A executes. There's stuff like, hey, let's throw us Omen Smoke that bubbles in slightly to heaven, so that when the KO flash comes out and KO swings, we're all around like where Shroud is, just watching this KO come out, and we all just dodge the flash and KO drops almost immediately. Small things like that, like a B exec where they go up, they break the KJ molly, they fake A, and then they like just walk up B because the KJ has to leave because she thinks it's an A hit. Very, very coordinated play, and if this is what we're gonna see from No Fear, and No Fear is coaching like Namek and stuff, even the bottom end of the, or quote unquote bottom end of the table looks very, very threatening. Anytime I see someone speaking French in my lobbies, I get slightly more scared, is what I'm saying. I don't know if you guys watched the game, if you have any takeaways from it before we go to like our last topic.
I missed it completely. I'm not gonna lie. I think because again, I've had a semi-busy day, so I was driving people around during the match, unfortunately, and I had visitors over. And
it was also quite early. Like I was still doing chores and stuff. I was like watching. I was like washing the bedding dishes and everything, and then I heard, somehow stumbled upon it. Like luckily I did. Then I started watching. But I think it was like 12 o'clock. It went live. Yeah, it's fairly early. But I'm glad I caught it. Yeah.
It was such a good game. It was such a good game.
Yeah,
I do like that idea though of having like one, well, not even a show match, just to bring it back to the old school style of like having tens every week, or like you put your team together. I'm not sure if you'll have ever played FIFA locally, or community wise or whatever, but like we used to have this thing called like a FIFA day, where on a weekend we all would come in with like $50, put $50 in a pot, and then
I did that. I did that on like PISS. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then but like it's that idea of like everyone's coming in, and it's like showcasing the best of your space or your circle, because our region is big, but like everybody has their own like little circles everywhere else, and so if you can bring your circle within, and like even if it's not just your circle, but it's like random people being mixed together from wherever, just to have that one game a week where everybody is sitting around the fire and we're all watching you do your thing, that's like it's an absolutely exciting thing, and the prospect of you as a player could potentially launch you to God knows where, because you never know who's watching on that day. It's like Sunday League Soccer.
Yeah,
you never know who's watching on the day. So I would like to see more of it. Hopefully the guys at SSA give us some more.
Yeah, no, I
personally
really
I
love the
think
format.
Yeah, personally, I think an easy way to do it currently, since there is a tournament running, is just to find a match that's going on in that week and then just have casters cast that match. So find out when and where the teams are scheduling the match and then just cast it. I mean, people
Yeah.
are already playing tournament matches and stuff, so like, why not?
Yeah. No, I
So, for
think
example, like this week, the match of the week, I would say was my team versus Nofia. You know, Valorant, like the South Africa one that like streamed and stuff, could have hit us up and said like, "Oh, you guys are playing this week. Like, oh, is it okay if we cast your match?" I would have liked something like that. So for like the other group matches that are happening, just find an entertaining match of the week and just ask if you can spectate and cast it.
If there was a solution I could offer was to find people that have the one issue we are all facing at the moment is that we all have very bad load shedding, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we're so divided time wise is that whenever a match happens, there's about a 60% chance that there are no people available
yeah,
during your match to even watch it, to even just see you on the thing. So the one solution I would have is like if you could find like 4 or 5 people that have like the most split up schedules, even if they don't cast it, just to like sort of record the match, so that there is some sort of evidence that the match did happen and people could see it post the game. It would be great. It's just I don't know if the management for that entire thing to happen is as
yeah,
efficient as we would like it, especially with the situation that we are in right
yeah.
now. But I do know that with days to come, like I know myself personally, if I had the power on the day, like I'm there. I know Rigger, if he has the power on the day, he's there and stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, it's
I'm,
hard
yeah.
with a lot of games.
I mean, this plays into what I forgot the Discord server now, but there was a Discord server. It was run by Winter Girl.
Shout
I
out, yeah,
think
shout out Winter.
yeah, I think Timmy was
Timmy, Winter,
managing
and
it,
yeah,
and then I came on as a mod to sort of help out.
yeah.
And what they used to do in that Discord server was they had a channel dedicated to anyone that wanted to cast or watch party or anything like that. And then whenever there was a match and people wanted that match to be casted, they would ask Winter. Winter would go into the channel, say, "Hey guys, this is the time of the match. This is the date. Is anyone available?" And then casters would come in and say, "I want the match." And she'll give them the match and say, "Okay, cool. You can cast the match." Put you in contact with the team that's playing the match, and then you would play it. So there was something like that. There isn't any currently that I know of, so that would be awesome. Like a Discord channel for casters. As soon as people hear about an entertaining match, just send it to the casters and let's see if anyone wants it. Because I mean, our match that we played, also it exceeded like 80 something viewers, and it was literally just it was Falja just sitting and watching the game and like talking sometimes. It wasn't even like a cast or anything, no face cam, no nothing. He was just sort of sitting there and just talking about the game while it was happening. And I mean, 80 something people showed up to watch it. So it doesn't even have to be a professional cast or anything. It could be a professional cast, obviously, if let's say load shedding isn't that bad, and let's say there's 2 casters available, and it's great for the casters too because you can mix and match personalities. One day it might be you two together, next time it might be Rigger and I don't know, let's say Tendo wants to cast a match too. So it also you find pairings as well with casters, which would be like awesome to hear like how the personalities that get together on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is the Valorant SSA Discord, and Timmy's been a massive help about it, and we're trying to get it going again. But yeah, on the Discord, if you guys contact Timmy, with anything else and say, "Hey, this is the time of our game and this is who's playing," he tends to put out and say, "Hey, these are the people that are playing." I'm actually casting tomorrow for Graphics Esports and QM, just because they were on the ACGL Discord and we just managed to catch them there. So if you guys can, post on.
Wow.
I think that
I'm joking.
See, I think there is, if you go to the ACGL Discord, I saw a channel, I think I saw it like 2 days ago, which is called, if I can find it now.
I think
So
it's
if
like
you go on the
match
Valorant Community
schedules.
League, it's called match schedules. So people go in and then they tell you who's playing who and at what time. So I don't know if that has any casters because I'm looking now.
Yeah, that's how I found the first GFX game.
So so it needs to be done between, like, there needs to be communication where it's done between the tournament organizer as well as, let's say, the community Discord, where like there's one like face that does it all. So if it goes through, let's say, the community Discord, then ACGL need to now tell you guys, okay, for this tournament, whatever, Timmy, here's the match times, here's where to find them. And then they create the channel for you guys, and then Timmy has permission to go in and share those times with you guys or something like that. It needs to be more known public. This match schedules thing, I didn't even know it existed. I don't know where the communication was from ACGL to tell people it was there. Maybe it was out, but I missed it completely. But yeah, so now that I know it's there, obviously I'm going to start utilizing it. But it's just about making this thing known publicly to people to also do this, where if you schedule your match, put it in match times, and a caster will reach out to you, for example, if they're available.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys just join the Discord. Make sure you guys are on the ACGL Discord and the Valorant SSA one. Yeah, because I'm always down. Literally, I am. If Panda doesn't have load shedding, I'm like, hey, have a GFX game, you casting. And he's like, I have sheds from 10. I'm like, unlucky. Do you ever have power? Like, it's tragic.
That's been my story. I've been trying my best to like water cast every single day this week. I've had I think it was 6 to 10, 6 to 10, 6 to 10, 4 to 8, 4 to 8 this entire week until yesterday. Yesterday we went back to stage 4. I had 4 to 6. It's we're in hell. We're like, there's no other way to explain it.
I am genuinely convinced that Panda has all of the country's load shedding. Just collectively, because he's never available. He just never has power.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's wild. But again, it's like, once everyone knows when the game is going on, when it's happening, and if they're available, 100%, we're there.
Yeah. Just new sort of communication there. Cool. And unless anyone has anything else to say, unless anyone is feeling a bit combative, I wanted to talk about more cerebral roles. And I'm very team oriented and like the hive mind of a team and how does it form. And I had this argument, I think with Panda. It was me, Panda, and Potato. And we were watching Paper Rex versus EG in the finals, and the topic came up of what is a duelist. Not duelist in role, but not duelist in physical in-game role, but duelist in like cerebral team role, for example. And also the example I use is Althea versus Demon 1. Because the duelist on their team, on paper, is Durka, but the actual duelist, in my mind, is Althea. Because Althea takes more fights than Durka does on a regular basis, especially on defense. He's regarded as one of the best aimers in the world, and the only 3 people above him are actual duelists. And Durka's in the top 10, but Durka's sitting at like 7th or 8th last time I checked. So I wanted to talk to you guys and see what you guys think. Is a duelist a person who is playing the role, who's playing Jet Rays, or is a duelist someone whose pure role is just to get into those fights?
God damn, I hate this question. We got into a serious argument over this question. Here's the thing, right? And I know I always have my certain like takes on the idea. But this is something that I've grown to learn, especially even before like the servers came. Is that when I'm in a game, I am trying to play the game with my play style, and not everybody sits within, not everyone knows what like plans I'm concocting in my head. So the way I think about a duelist at that time is probably not the same way that, let's say, Hutchie would think about a duelist if he was the controller or the initiator within my game. So there's always going to be like that mismatch of ideas. I would say like the way that EG plays really enables Demon 1 to take those like duels, those 50-50s, and because of his ability, he wins most of them. And the way Fnatic plays, allows for Alpha to be able to be that anchor or that lurker sort of position, being able to take all of those kills. That's why he's like up there. It all depends on like how you want to play. Personally, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one. Personally, I don't believe the duelist would always need to be the top fragger. Okay?
Cancel him.
Scandalous. Yeah, off the show. Immediately off the show.
Nah. See, Panda is my arena that goes 4 for 20 that says, guys, Duelist doesn't have to top frag.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'm
just-
blinding for you guys.
Bro, I'm walking in, I'm entering. Why aren't you guys
Yeah, I'm
walking
entering,
and
I'm
trading me,
walking
bro?
in. Dude, I died. Like, come on, now it's your turn, guys.
Let me explain. Okay, this is my approach to any game, even pro games.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm never going to play again, so now I can expose the stress. Is that when you're playing the game, right? Your execution causes chaos, and your team needs to be able to thrive or to take advantage of that chaos, right? Just like how Hutchie was explaining, you do this, do that, do that, explodes everywhere, and your jet dashes in. That jet dashing in is disrupting 4 crosses away from where main is. Everyone's looking there now. Whether she gets a kill or dies, she has opened up the biggest advantage for your team walking in to clear the site.
Mm.
You know? So you can have a 124 jet, but the way she can dash into the side, like you could win all your rounds. But but there are instances where you do need your duelist to perform at, because they are again your entry frag. If they're not getting those early 1v1s, then you can't explode into the set unless you're all contacting up until the entry of main and then exploding, and then all 5 of you are still alive at that point. So it's all about how you want to play the game. Depending on like what you want to do, that's what your duelist has to be.
Yeah. So, okay. So I feel like you're
Answer me
missing.
after.
Okay.
Answer me
So,
afterwards.
no. So I believe what you're saying is 100% true.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna word it maybe like a little bit better so people can
Yeah.
understand it. Okay. So a duelist role is invented to create space and to take space. That's the job of a duelist. So their kit is designed to get you in positions to open up spots for your team. That's literally it. An initiator's role is to gather information for your team. That's an initiator's job. A controller's role is to cut off sightlines to allow you to control areas of the map. A sentinel's role is to hold down an area. It could be area of flank. It could be an area of, post plant, stopping people coming in, or it could be holding down a site as a defender, whatever it may be. That's their roles. So if you look at the kits, you have a Yoru who can TP for different areas. He's taking space. He's taking control of the areas. That's his kit. He can flash into a specific area, flash into a room, and he takes space by taking that room, which clears up that area for your team. Jet has a dash. Jet can dash into certain areas. She could updraft into other certain areas to take space. That is the job of a duelist. So Panda's 100% right when he says like the entry fragger, being the duelist, doesn't have to be the highest scoring person in your entire match. Like there's a big misconception around it because of the way they played in ranked play. So in ranked play, people use the duelist to get kills. So their kit can get kills too. You can get kills with a Raise Nade, Bomb Buddy, whatever it may be. You can satchel for your ult. You can dash in and get kills, or you can, hold an angle with an orb, dash out, whatever it may be. You can use that kit to get kills, but the unique function of it, let's say like Durka's role isn't to jump in and kill everyone. Like, yes, if he does, that's great. But his role is, if the Sky Dog goes into hookah, the person that needs to take that space should be Durka. If there's a person playing a corner in hookah, Sky should try stun him. The nade should push the person out of the space, and Durka should go in and claim that space for his team to come in. That's the role of what he's playing, for example. With Demon 1 is just really skilled, where when he dashes in to take space, he's getting in and getting all those kills. But his team also, like Panda was saying, they enable him to get those kills. For example, they'll throw in a flash, the flash comes in, the flash gets him, and now Demon 1 goes in and secures the kill. He's the person that goes in first. He's the person that has, I'd say, the most consistent aim on the team. He's also the person that has the most confidence on the team. So it just makes sense. He goes in, he just gets the kills, he gets the job done. if there's a time where Demon 1 has a bad game, I feel like the team is going to struggle because they're basing the entire, let's say, util ability on giving Demon 1 the advantage, the upper hand on every single gunfight. It could be a dart to like try get Demon 1 information, so Demon 1 go kill. That could be a strategy. Where Fnatic side, it's Durka, make space. We need to get on site, go get us onto site. Whereas I was watching Boaster's stream today, funny enough, because I like watching his streams. And he plays rank play very much like explains things as he goes, like his thought process. So he was pushing on by and he was going into showers. And as he was walking in, he was aiming and he's like, I am Alpha here. Think like Alpha here, and goes in. And he was explaining how Durka is in charge of taking space for lamps. So they can control that area. Whereas Alpha, he's the anchor, he's the late lurker. Alpha has one of the best aims, so he could just hold Bath. And if anyone swings Bath to like check, Alpha is going to win the fight. So that's how he plays the role. Alpha's role isn't to get in and create space. It's not to like take bathroom. It's to punish people swinging out of position. That's why he gets those frags, because he's great at getting the reads on the game to say, okay, this person fucked up. He wide swung me. He's getting punished. Or this person forgot to check flank. He's getting punished. So that's how they play the roles in their team. And yeah, as long as your duelist is getting in, creating space, I'm fine with it. I mean, when I play duelist, I understand that. Like if I dash in as Jet, I have some teams that go in with me. I'll die. They get the trades. I'm happy. I did my job. I'm like, good job, guys. Yes, I didn't get the kill. Maybe I made people weak. As long as you get the trade, I don't care. I've done my job. It's all good. We get the site. You traded a kill, 1-for-1. Now it's a 4v4. We have site. That's an advantage. I did a good job as a duelist. But then you get some people that play rank play where I dash in and they stay back. They'll sit back behind the smoke and they'll be like, Jet, go kill, no util, no nothing. Or they'll throw one flash in and then they stay behind the smoke. And then I'll go in, my dumbass, let's say I'll get one or something and then I'll die. And then I'll tune them and then they'll just rotate. So now I dashed in for nothing. So you get people that don't understand that Azel, that you need to like help the duelist. You're just like, all right, bro, go kill. So yeah.
So this conversation was brought up because I was watching a Plat Chat episode. Because as you guys know, as of yesterday at least, Yay hadn't found a team. And they were basically pondering, like, if you were to take, for example, like Yay, or you would take cryo cells from 100 Thieves, and you were to put them on Sentinel role, would they be better? And then you have another person playing dedicated duelist. Because we're talking about how Tens is really, really good at playing supporting roles, because he has really, really good aim and can actually facilitate his duelists do what they do. So also, for example, I'll use Bind for an example. If you have a Raze that satchels over truck, and Raze sees someone playing on bench or something, if Tens is following up that Raze, Tens kills that person playing bench like 9 out of 10 times because of how good his aim is. And then they were talking about how if you have Yay or Cryocells, those really cracked duelists with really good aim, and playing them in more sentinel positions where they just have to take those fights and win them and contest space, what does that look like for the entire scene? In the same watch party, we were talking about how I think we were talking about how something was being diffed by Demon 1, and why is Demon 1 playing Astra if Demon 1 objectively has the best aim? And the conclusion I came to then was it's to stop counter-stratting, but in reality it's to put Demon 1 in better positions to take winning fights, if that makes sense. Because especially Astra
the thing is, Georgiamo just plays a better Raze. I feel like that's all it is. It's about finding out who you need for the map and then letting the person like that's best at it play it. I mean, like you said, like Demon 1 has like this great thing about him is he knows when to go in and get kills, and he knows when to hang back and still get kills. Same thing with Ye, but I feel like what Ye's lacking is I feel like he was really good on Chamber because he can play those holdy angles the same as like Althea. But now that Chamber is removed from the meta and he has to go back to Jet, he's good at Jet, yes, but he's not amazing at Jet. He's not like one of the best Jets in the world, in my opinion. So I feel like maybe like he needs to adapt more Althea's playstyle, because also when you watch Ye, he's one of the only few pros that really like aim down sights in like some of his fights. Like he has that very tappy like one tap aim. Like if Ye is holding an angle and he's aimed outside, like you are gonna get one tap. Same thing with Alpha. Alpha like does the same thing. He holds angles and punishes people that go out of position. Chamber was amazing at doing that, punishing people, peeking out of position. I feel like Ye should just sort of backtrack and just realize he's not one of the best Jets and just try something else, play a different role, play like a Killjoy, like an Althea type of thing, and sort of like, as you said, like sort of anchor down the team and punish people like over peaking.
Yeah, I think it's also the duelist mentality that you require. Well, it's not the duelist mentality, it's duelist kit, where they aren't really self-sufficient and they kind of need to rely on their team to truly shine. A Raze that's double satcheling gets one shot out the air every single time, but a Raze satcheling with a Sky Flash, for example, is more problematic. And that's the last topic I have. Let's take one more question and then we'll call it a night. Give you guys some time to.
Wish you could just. I'm gonna link this podcast to my rank teammates. Next time I play duelist.
If there's one thing that I could tell like every single rank team that I'm with when we're playing the game, it's number one, stop playing Reyna.
I've been locking Reyna.
Okay, but you're you, right?
Now, see, the reason Reyna works,
or y'all like kill, heal. Okay.
Yes.
You're gonna get another one. 100% you're gonna get another one because your aim is just that we're in silver gold, you know. I'm really not shaming all of you guys in silver gold, but when you compare the aim of like the ascendant players to us, there's a big difference. It's a massive difference. And for Reyna to work, you have to always have confirmed kills. The amount of bottom fragging Reynas that I've had in the last 2 weeks is terrible.
Yeah.
Stop playing Reyna and start understanding the fundamentals.
See, what also goes hand in hand with it, though, the thing is, see, if you're a good aimer and you're hard stuck, Reyna is the best person for you because your team, you don't need a team to shine. Like, you could, like, hard carry, you have your own blinds, you have your healing ability. You don't need a Sage to heal you because at those ranks, Sages don't want to heal you. Sky probably doesn't even buy a heal. The initiators don't want to flash for you. So if you're playing someone like Jet, they don't want to flash for you. So now you're going in blind. If you're Reyna, you can sort of like use your kit to sort of do it all. So if you're hard stuck silver or whatever, pick Reyna, but pick Reyna after a few sessions of aim labs, bro. Aim labs first, play some death matches, and then Reyna. And then once you climb to like plat or something and people actually know how to like direct a Skybird, then you can start saying like, okay, cool, I'll play a Raze and Jet.
Yeah.
God.
So Moses had a question about, does it matter which duelist you take, or should you prioritize who you take out as a first duelist, or who you take out first as a duelist? That's a very weird question.
Does it matter who the duelist takes out, or who you should prioritize? Who you should prioritize? Who you take out? Does that mean if you like dash on side, like who's your kill priority?
When you dash in,
okay.
goes out, who's your kill? Like who are you?
Kill priority is the easiest kill, to be honest. Like in my eyes, like if you dash on, you have very limited time to be like selective. Like if 3 people swing out of a smoke, it's like who's closest to my crosshair, type of thing. But if I had to be like, if I had to slow-mo time and look at like 4 targets and be like, who should I shoot first? If I could kill one, who do I shoot first? It'd probably be the controller, in my opinion. Like there's so many times where I'm playing or ranked or whatever, and if I see like, oh, we got the brimstone as like the first blood, I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy. Like we have side control. So it depends also on the side though, because let's say you're playing Ascent. If you have someone with annoying Killjoy setups, if you kill Killjoy and you know they play B, you could be like, okay, Killjoy's dead and they played B, now B should be free, because most of the time people leave their Sentinel to play side alone or with only one other defender. So if you kill, let's say, the Sentinel first and you're on their side, most of the time there's only like one other person with them, maybe. So it sort of like depends. So it's instead of less about who you should kill first, it's more of identify who got killed and then work your way around it. If a duelist kills a duelist, it's not a big deal. If a duelist kills their, like I said, the controller as like their first pick, I look at that, I'm like, oh, they don't have smokes anymore. Oh, this is going to be great. I could play offside now and, you know, hold like a, once we plant bomb, I can play offside because they don't have a controller to sort of smoke me off and defuse the bomb type of thing. If they kill the Sentinel, like I said, you can say, okay, Sentinel was holding the side, so there's probably maybe one other person here, and that's it. You kill them, you can push up. type of thing. Yeah, so it depends. If they kill Sky, you don't have to worry about being flashed, or if they kill KO, you don't have to worry about being knifed. If you're playing lineups and there's a KO that knifes you, now you can't throw your lineups. Yeah, it depends. So it's more like just identify who gets killed. Like always be attentive when it comes to like who's dead.
Yeah, as a controller, adversely, like it's the same thing for me. If anything, it's like if I had a hierarchy, it would be the controller first. If I had like all 5 of them lined up, it would be controller first, initiator second, and then everything else. Because the sentinel's not going to really challenge you in a fair or in an unfair fight because it's just you versus them. A controller can make it very, very weird and probably like stop you from fighting in the first place. An initiator can turn what is a really good hold into a really uncomfortable trying to run away because you're full blind or like detained or you're sucked and seized. Like
that's true.
You've been detected.
I mean, unless you're playing like a Cypher, because if you pick off a Cypher, now you don't have to worry about waiting for trips. Because pushing a Cypher site is so irritating. You have to worry about this. Yeah, exactly.
It's
so it depends.
If you've ever played Bind against a good Cypher on B, and you go at B long and you look,
the
and
cameras,
like, where is Cypher? And you walk on, you get tripped, die, and your team is like, oh, his elbow, and you trip and he spam through box or something like.
Play more Cypher, guys. Play more Cypher.
Cypher is busted, but worse than Killjoy, which is the problem.
I was playing with a friend on like low elos, and I was watching him place like Cypher trips all the way on the floor, and I was like, dude, they're just hopping over your trips every time, and you're wondering why. Like, so I don't know. In low elos, just play Killjoy. Don't play Cypher.
Just play Killjoy, guys.
Yeah.
That is the pro advice for today is just play Killjoy.
Yeah, pro advice for
Killjoy and Reyna.
I mean, if we're going statistically on like VCT stats, Killjoy was the most picked agent out of VCT champs over everyone else. So
pre-nerf though, pre-nerf.
What did they really nerf about it? Isn't it just the alt orb?
Yeah, it's just the alt orb.
But I mean, her alt wasn't even her alt wasn't that strong. I mean, now you just have brimstones to just keep their alt, and then when you alt, they just break it. I mean, if you're in high elos, people have like shock dart lineups to like break your thing, or like nade lineups with KO to like break it. So I mean, it gets complicated. There's Gecko lineups now as well. Raise nade lineups to break your Killjoy alt. So, dude, Killjoy is just, her alt is useless.
No, it's the difference is I would agree when it's like, oh well, now it costs 1 more, but I'm like, more often than not, if a KJ is on in like a pro game, he kills 4 or 5 people in the span of 2 rounds or something. So he gets his ulti and farms 2 orbs. So it's like, it doesn't really make a difference. That's where the duelist conversation came through. Because you put Ye on KJ and you're like, hey, Ye, go peek B long on Pearl. And then Ye just kills 2 people every single time. You're like, oh, we have ulti. We have ulti by round 4, GG's. Let's go A. And you just rinse and repeat. But yeah.
Most defense spike and Killjoy alt these days. Most defense spike and Killjoy alt these days. I mean, yeah, but like you sort of know, like everyone knows like where Killjoy alt. It's not like a breach where you're constantly like flip breaches out. Like when is he gonna use it? Like when's he gonna rip that breach out? You know, you're running on site, then you're running off site trying to bait it, and it's annoying. Killjoy alt sort of like, oh, okay, there it is. Like, oh, guys, Killjoy is out. Ah, okay, and that's it.
Before the round starts, when Killjoy has alt, to anticipate
exactly, like yes.
So everybody sit in market, you sit in thingy, nobody sit on site. We know
100%. Yeah, we know it's coming. Or we're like, okay, guys, they might even at my ranks, because like the alt isn't even that great. I just use it as a fake sometimes. I'm just like, cool, I'm gonna alt A. They're gonna think we're going A, and you guys walk B, and I just pop the alt because it's useless. It just pulls everyone out, and then we go somewhere else. But it also depends. Yeah. It depends on alt timing too, because they are like really good alt timings. Where like if you're in a post plant situation, you know they've used their util, you pop the alt, now you delay time on the bomb. You can use it like that. It doesn't always have to be put right before you execute a site, so you can just mess around with it.
I will never forget the day when I was playing on Ascent on defense and I had KJ ulti. So I walked garden after hearing the tap of the spike, and I'm like, oh cool, I put down my ulti, and 4 people swung tree. it just shot me, and I'm like, okay, well, GG's. This is a dog shit.
Yeah.
Like it happens.
Exactly. It just makes you a target because now you have to defend the flipping alt because you know they're going to rush the alt to break it. So you put it down, you just put a target on your back, and now you have to stand there next to this flipping device waiting for it to tick down.
15 seconds to even start work.
Literally, dude.
Yeah.
And then you have teammates that don't even watch it for you. They're literally just like somewhere else fighting, and then you die and they break the alt, and then you're just like, well, what do you expect?
Yeah, and everyone's like, hey, KJ, why didn't you ult? You're like, I did, and then I died. It
Exactly.
happens.
You're like, no one's watching cat, and now you want me to ult? You die from cat.
Yeah. It's like, why did we lose that round? Oh, I don't know. I took 4 1v1s and still lost my ulti. It happens.
Literally.
But yeah, anyway, thank you for joining us, Hutch. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1. I want to do more of these in the future, and then potentially have you on at the end of the season, and then we can talk about how checkers did and what you think about Vale Say as a whole. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks Panda for joining me. I don't have a schedule for when we'll do the next one. Load shedding.
When load shedding says it's fine.
Yeah, we have to
I mean, I didn't get load shedded right now. I don't know what
Yeah.
the hell's going on. I guess it got cancelled.
Yeah.
But okay. I mean, I guess I can queue rank now. So
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna go Q rank as well, just so that I can.
you wanna get my
Bring
games?
yourself. Yeah.
I'll hop on a Smurf and make sure that you stay down there, Panda.
Wow.
You see Rayman, you're just like, nah, not this dude.
No, not this guy. Nah.
But yeah, thanks everyone. I shall see you guys around. Go check out Hutchie. Check out Vale Say. Check out ACGL. Also, just because I need to do the social plug, if you want to talk about the podcast at all, I don't know if anyone wants to, but if you do, hashtag JMSV, Jou Ma Se Valorant, on Twitter. And also, if you're going to do any Val or Valorant League content and you want to tag it on Twitter, don't use ValZA, use VCLZA. That's the new hashtag that Valorant SA is using. They announced it in the stream, but
VCLZA.
yeah, VCLZA.
Is it for Valorant Champions League ZA?
Yeah. So that's the one that's the one they announced in regards to like esports. If you want to tag Valorant, yeah.
It's so confusing, man.
It's a bit
Because
yeah.
there used to be Valorant ZA, then there's like, I think there was like RSA Valorant as well, like a Twitter account like that. Like, now then it was Val ZA, then it was ZA Val, then Val ZA, and now VCL ZA. Like,
I'm just
I
doing
understand it, but guys, please,
Keep a spreadsheet. Just keep
I'm gonna tag them all.
Yeah,
Just tag them all.
literally get like a
Val ZA,
notepad and
VCL
have
ZA,
everything.
RSA ZA, ZAF. I'm gonna just tag them all, dude.
You have like on the you tweet your post for like Twitter, and then on the very first comment tweet, it's just all the hashtags.
Exactly, 100%.
But yeah,
Can we talk about Panda's cam throwing on the podcast?
yeah. Well, we don't talk about
yeah,
it.
well,
It's just the
pretend
internet.
Yeah, we
It's
pretend
just
we
the
didn't see
internet.
I'm not sure if you'll play Marvel Snap, but somebody made a Marvel Snap joke with my camera. It's
But yeah, thanks so much for watching,
Cool.
guys. I shall see you guys around. Any last words before I end?
Where can we catch you, Hutchie? Where if people wanted to know more from Hutchie, where can they find you?
Well, I stream almost every day at twitch.tv/HutchieOG. So you can catch me there. Everything, all my socials is just HutchieOG. You can check it out there. My @ is below my camera right there. So yeah, there you go.
Cool.
And I'll
thanks
be
for
live
joining us.
after this in like
Yeah.
30 minutes after I eat. So I'll see you there. Cheeky plug. I better see you there, Moses.
Yeah, Moses in there. We're gonna grab on Smurfs and just make sure Moses gets to iron as fast as physically possible.
Gets dying.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. I shall see you guys around.